In today's video, I'm going to break down how to run the best defense in college football 25. This defense allows you to get instant pressure while still playing lockdown coverage, all with an easy setup. So we're going to take a look at the dime 2-3 odd. This formation can be found in the 3-3-5 tight defensive playbook, and when running this, you're going to want to make sure you turn auto flip off because we want to flip this at the play call screen. So the reason why we're going to flip this is we want to blitz from the left, and in order to do that, I want to come out and cover two-man flipped. So guys, this defense can work in any game mode. You don't need any crazy players to do this. I would say the biggest key is just to make sure your left of screen sub linebacker is fast because he's going to be the guy blitzing up the gap. You want a good user on the right of screen sub linebacker because that's who you're going to use every play. Now in this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can blitz either 3 or 4 defenders to get instant pressure while still playing lockdown coverage. I'm going to show you guys a few different adjustments and setups to make this blitz really good and hard to beat. So make sure you stay tuned throughout the whole video so you don't miss out on any important info. And if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop me a like, and comment on the video. So the first most basic setup to this is first of all to show blitz. To show blitz, what you're going to do is you're going to get coverage audible, which is triangle or Y, to bring up your coverage adjustments menu. Once you do that, you're going to hit the button for show blitz. For me, that is R1. Now what that's going to do is it's going to basically walk these safeties up into the box, and then you guys can see this linebacker went up a hair too into the gap. Now, if you don't want the safeties up this far in the box, after you show blitz, you can press your coverage by hitting coverage audible, which is triangle Y, and down in the right analog stick. That'll move the safeties back, but the linebacker will stay in the gap, which is really key because he's going to be blitzing, and by moving further up in the gap, he's going to come through the gap faster to get to the quarterback. So the next thing you're going to do is you're just going to take your user and stand over to left of screen guard. You're going to blitz your linebackers down by hitting right on the D-pad, then down on the right stick. You're going to put your user in a hook zone. So at the snap, what you're going to do here is you're just going to run into this left guard. You're not actually going to blitz. You're just going to tap him, and then you're going to drop back in coverage, which allows this guy to come through the gap untouched. Now, I know the running back was unguarded there, but we can fix that very easily. So again, all I'm going to do is show blitz my linebackers, take my user, stand over to left guard, and put myself in the hook zone. Now, we're going to show you a few adjustments to make the coverage better. We're going to show you guys how to make your man coverage more elite with shading rules, and we're going to show you guys how to deal with the running back out of the backfield. So if the running back's going out of the backfield, what I tend to do is I like to put the right of screen defensive in. I'll put him on a bluff blitz. To do this, I'm going to hit left on the D-pad twice. This brings up the icons of your defensive line. We're going to hit the icon of the defensive line on the right of the screen, which is X, and we're going to go right on the right analog stick for a bluff blitz. What this does is if the running back goes out, he's actually going to man up to him, and we're still just going to run into this left guard with our user. Now you can see that running back is guarded. We're in there for the sack every time. Now this blitz will still even work if they block the running back. You would think blocking the running back would stop this blitz, but it actually does not. As you guys can see here, you're still going to get pressure, and if they're going to block the running back, you can actually even drop that D tackle back into a hook zone because you don't really have to worry about the running back going out anymore. And then you can QB contain to keep the quarterback in the pocket just like this. Now to hit QB contain, simply going to be R1, R1 or RB, RB depending upon your system. So you guys can look, the running back's still in and we just basically get instant pressure. So if I'm playing against a mobile quarterback or just need to keep the quarterback in the pocket, this is actually the ideal setup to use. Whether they block the running back or not, I'm simply going to show blitz and then I'm going to QB contain. Again, QB contain is either R1, R1 or RB, RB. And then you're going to blitz all your linebackers and put your user in a hook zone. Now, if you're really worried about the running back going out, you could man him with the D tackle, right? You could do that. Or if you're not, you could just drop him back in the hook zone. Regardless, if, at the snap, they try to just roll out, the contain is going to be right there to disengage and get the sack. So now I want to talk about how to make this coverage even better through the use of shading, and there's two main principles I want to talk about that 9 out of 10 players do not utilize. So the first thing is because we have both of our safeties in deep zones here, you don't really have to worry about getting beat deep. So the first thing you're going to want to do is shade your coverage underneath. To do that, you hit coverage audible triangle Y or down on the right stick. That is basically going to give your DBs a trail technique, and it's going to allow them to play in coverage a lot stickier, undercut balls on slants, posts, etc. The other thing you're going to want to do is actually shade twice. I talked about this in another man coverage video if you guys want to check that out for a more detailed explanation. But basically, you can shade underneath, and then you can also shade inside or outside. So you're just going to decide, what type of routes do you keep getting beat with. If you want to get better at college football 25 and win more games, check out my college football VIP membership on sportsgamerz.com. Put the link to order in the comments and the description. You will get access to all the content I release for college football all year long, including the best offense in the game, the best defense in the game, my secret A-gap blitzes, my rollout glitch, my run defense, and my pass defense, and much more. Let's dominate together, boys. Like in a situation like this, if they're running a lot of corners, whips, etc., you'd want to shade outside. However, if they were running a lot of, in route, slants, drags, etc., you'd want to shade inside. So here, most of the routes have been breaking to the outside, so we'll shade outside, and then we're going to look to our user to guard the middle of the field. Now remember, if the running back's going out on route, bluff blitz at D end. If not, you can contain and drop the D tackle in a hook zone. So again, we're still going to hit this guard, and then we're just going to drop back. Now you saw the pressure was extremely fast there, but look at this coverage. This is a shaded down to the outside corner route, and there's not a hair of separation here. Now the second thing I want to talk about is how to individually shade. Because let's say that we shade our coverage down and to the outside as we just did, but then there's a certain receiver that keeps running an in-breaking route. Well, you can actually individually shade that individual receiver who's running the in-breaking route. So right now I've shaded my coverage down and to the outside, but now I want to individually shade to take away the in-breaking route. So on this play, we're noticing that the outside left receiver is breaking in on some sort of like in route. Now to individually shade, all you're going to do is bring up your individual coverage adjustments by hitting triangle or Y. Then you hit the individual button for X, and then that receiver's icon, in this case the outside left receiver's square, and then now we have options to shade them left, which is left on the right stick, right, which is right on the right stick. We can individually press or back up as well. Press is down on the right stick, back off is up on the right stick. We want to shade them inside, so we're going to shade right, which is right on the right stick. So you guys see that actually moved the DB pre-play to get an inside position on that receiver. Still going to set the blitz up the same way, and look at that coverage. So we're still getting instant pressure and elite coverage on the out-breaking routes, but look at this coverage on the in-breaking route. It is stride for stride, no separation.